Hi everyone, welcome back to Talk English Today podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, Arya. How are you today, Arya?
Hi, Alex. I'm doing great. Thank you. And hello to all our listeners. We're so excited to be here with another helpful episode.
That's right. Today's episode is all about speaking English fluently in 2025 without stress or fear. Many learners struggle with confidence, but we're here to help with new methods, fresh tips, and real-life strategies to make English learning easier and more effective.
Yes, if you've ever felt nervous or stuck when speaking English, don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll have practical steps to boost your confidence and start speaking naturally.
Sounds exciting, right? So let's get started.
Alex, have you ever felt nervous speaking English in a real situation?
Absolutely. The first time I had to speak English in public, my mind went completely blank. I knew the words, but I was too scared to say them. My heart was beating fast, and I felt like everyone was watching me.
That's a common feeling. Many learners experience this fear. Sometimes we worry about making mistakes. Other times we think people will judge us or laugh at us, and sometimes we just don't feel confident enough.
Yes, and fear can make us stay quiet, even when we know what to say. But here's something important to remember. Mistakes are normal. They are part of learning.
Exactly. Think about how children learn to speak their first language. They make mistakes all the time, but they don't stop trying. And no one laughs at them. Instead, people help them.
That's a great point. Most people don't judge you for making mistakes. In fact, they respect you for trying to speak a new language. They might even want to help you.
Yes, so if you're afraid of speaking, remember this. Mistakes help you grow. Every time you speak, even if it's not perfect, you are improving.
And the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. Fear will slowly disappear, and speaking English will feel natural.
That's right. So don't let fear stop you. Instead, use it as motivation to keep learning and speaking.
Yes, and in the next part, we'll share some simple ways to overcome this fear and start speaking with confidence.
Now, in 2025, learning English is easier than ever. We have so many tools and new ways to practice. You don't have to sit in a classroom and memorize words. You can learn by speaking, listening, and having fun.
That's true. Technology has changed the way we learn. Now you can practice English anytime, anywhere. Let's talk about some of the best new ways to learn in 2025.
Yes, what's the first one, Alex?
All right, first we have AI conversation partners. These are apps that let you practice speaking with AI anytime. You can have real conversations with an AI tutor. It corrects your mistakes and helps you improve your pronunciation. No pressure, no judgment, just practice.
That's amazing. You don't need to wait for a teacher or a language partner. You can practice speaking every day whenever you want.
Exactly. The second big change is VR language practice. VR stands for virtual reality. Imagine wearing special glasses and feeling like you're in an English-speaking country. You can walk into a coffee shop, talk to people, and order food, all in English.
Wow, that sounds so real. It's like traveling without leaving your home. This helps you practice speaking in real-life situations.
Yes, and the best part? You can make mistakes in a safe space. No one is watching, and you can practice as much as you need.
That's so helpful. What's the next new way to learn?
The third one is interactive chat groups. There are online communities where English learners from all over the world help each other. You can ask questions, practice writing, and even join live voice chats to practice speaking.
That's a great idea. Speaking with real people helps you learn natural English, and because everyone is learning, no one feels shy or embarrassed.
Yes, these chat groups can also help you make friends from different countries. You can learn about different cultures while improving your English.
That's right. If you use these new tools, speaking English won't feel like a lesson. It'll feel like real life. And that makes learning easier and more fun.
Absolutely. The more you use English in real situations, the faster you'll improve. And with all these new tools, you can practice English every day in a natural way.
So if you want to learn English in 2025, don't just study, experience it. In the next part, we'll share tips on how to use these tools in your daily life.
Speaking English can feel scary, but don't worry, have some simple strategies to help you speak without stress.
Yes, these tips will help you feel more confident. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Let's start with the first strategy.
All right, the first strategy is to change how you think about mistakes. Many learners say, I'm afraid to make mistakes. But instead, you should say, every mistake helps me improve.
That's a great mindset. Mistakes are not bad. They are proof that you are learning. When a baby learns to walk, they fall many times, but they don't stop trying. Learning English is the same.
Exactly! Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. And guess what? Most people don't even notice small mistakes.
That's true. Okay, let's move to the second strategy. Practice thinking in English. Many learners translate from their first language to English in their heads, but this takes time and makes speaking harder.
Yes, instead of translating, try describing your day in English. For example, when you wake up, think, I am getting out of bed. I will brush my teeth now. If you do this every day, your brain will start thinking in English naturally.
I love that idea. Another fun way is to talk to yourself in English. Look in the mirror and have a short conversation with yourself. It sounds funny, but it really helps.
That's a great tip. Now, let's talk about the third strategy, shadowing. Have you heard of this before, Aria?
Yes, shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say immediately. It's like copying their pronunciation and rhythm. This helps with fluency and confidence.
Exactly. You can use podcasts, audiobooks, or even movies. Just play a short sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly how they said it. You'll sound more natural over time.
Yes, and you don't need to understand every word. The goal is to get comfortable speaking English out loud.
That's right. Now here's another strategy. Speak before you're ready. Many learners wait for the perfect moment to start speaking, but the perfect moment never comes.
Yes, if you wait until you feel 100% ready, you might never start. The best way to learn is to just start speaking. Even simple sentences like, how are you, or I like coffee, help you build confidence.
That's so true. And remember, confidence doesn't come before speaking. It comes from speaking. The more you try, the more confident you will become.
Exactly. So don't wait. Use these strategies and start speaking today.
In the next section, we'll share real-life examples of people who used these strategies and became fluent. Stay with us. Let's share some real success stories. Many people feel afraid to speak English, but with the right mindset and practice, they can become confident speakers.
Let's share some real success stories. Many people feel afraid to speak English, but with the right mindset and practice, they can become confident speakers.
That's right. I remember one of my students who was very shy. She never spoke in class because she was scared of making mistakes. Every time I asked her a question, she stayed silent or just nodded.
Oh, I understand many learners feel that way. What did you do to help her?
I encouraged her to start speaking in small steps. At first, I told her to say just one word, like yes or no. Then I asked her to say short sentences, like, I like coffee. Little by little, she got more comfortable.
That's a great method. How long did it take for her to feel more confident?
After a few weeks, she started answering questions in full sentences. And after a few months, she was speaking with confidence. Now, she even helps other students practice speaking.
That's an amazing transformation. I had a similar experience with my friend. She really wanted to speak English, but she was afraid of making mistakes, so she avoided speaking at all.
Yes, many people think they need to speak perfectly, but that's not true. How did your friend improve?
She started watching English movies with subtitles. At first, she just listened. Then she began repeating simple phrases from the movies. She did this every day, and slowly she became more confident.
That's a great technique. Movies and TV shows are excellent ways to learn natural English.
Yes, and now my friend speaks English every day. She even talks to native speakers online.
That's inspiring. These stories show that confidence isn't something you are born with. It's something you build over time. The key is to keep practicing and not be afraid of mistakes.
Exactly. If you keep trying, you will improve. Speaking English is a journey, and every small step brings you closer to fluency.
In the next section, we'll give you practical tips to help you start speaking with confidence today. Stay with us.
Now let's talk about daily practices you can start today to improve your fluency in speaking English without fear.
Exactly. The first one is simple but powerful. Speak out loud every day, even if you're alone. You don't need anyone else to practice. Just say something, like describing your day or talking about what's happening around you. Speaking out loud helps you get comfortable with the sounds of English.
That's a great tip. And when you speak out loud, try to speak in full sentences. For example, instead of just saying, "I'm going to the store," try saying, "I'm going to the store to buy some bread and fruit." This helps you practice complete thoughts and improves your sentence structure.
Exactly. The second tip is to practice with a speaking buddy. Find a friend, family member, or even someone online who wants to practice with you. Speaking with someone else makes learning more fun, and you can learn from each other.
Yes, and there are many online groups and apps where you can find people to practice with. You don't need to feel alone on your learning journey. Speaking with others is one of the best ways to improve your fluency.
Right, and here's another one. Use voice messages instead of texting. Many people text, but speaking is different. When you use voice messages, you practice your pronunciation and your ability to speak without looking at a screen. It's a great way to build confidence.
That's such a good point. I also recommend describing your surroundings in English. Look around you and name things. For example, if you're sitting in a park, you might say, "There are many trees in the park. I see a bench and there is a dog running." This helps you build vocabulary naturally while practicing sentences.
Exactly. Describing your surroundings helps you use new words in real life. And here's a fun challenge. Try to speak for just 2 minutes every day about any topic. It could be something simple, like your favorite food or a place you want to visit. The goal is to speak for 2 minutes straight without stopping. It may seem hard at first, but over time, it gets easier.
Yes, don't worry about making mistakes during those 2 minutes. Just keep talking. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. You'll find that after a few days, you're able to talk for longer without feeling nervous.
Exactly. If you do even one of these practices every day, you'll see huge progress in a few months. Small, consistent practice is the key to speaking fluently and fearlessly.
Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about improving little by little every day. And over time, you'll be surprised by how much better you get at speaking.
Exactly. So start with one of these daily practices today and keep going. The more you practice, the more natural speaking English will feel.
Stay with us, because next we're going to discuss how to set real goals to help you stay motivated on your learning journey.
We asked our listeners what their biggest struggles are, and we got some great questions. Here's one from David. How do I stop feeling embarrassed when I speak English?
Great question, David. Feeling embarrassed is something many English learners face, but the best way to stop feeling embarrassed is to focus on your message, not your mistakes. When you speak, remember that people care more about what you are saying than how you say it.
Exactly. For example, if you're telling a story, people will listen to your story, not your grammar. They want to understand you, not judge you. So, don't worry about small mistakes. Just keep talking.
Right, and here's another tip. If you make a mistake, don't be hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. The key is to keep going and learn from them. Every mistake is a chance to improve.
Yes, and the more you practice speaking, the less embarrassed you will feel. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, but with practice, you will become more confident. Over time, speaking English will just feel like a normal part of your day.
Another thing you can do is practice speaking in a safe space. For example, practice in front of a mirror or record yourself. This way you can get used to hearing your own voice in English without worrying about other people listening.
That's a great idea. And if you can, try speaking with a friend or language partner. Find someone who is supportive and understanding. When you speak in a comfortable, safe environment, It helps reduce the fear of making mistakes.
Exactly. And remember, learning a language is a process. It takes time, but the more you practice, the easier it will get. You'll reach a point where you stop feeling embarrassed and start feeling proud of your progress.
Absolutely. So, David and everyone listening, remember, don't focus on perfection. Focus on communication. Keep practicing, and you'll feel more confident every day.
That's right. Keep pushing forward and soon you won't feel embarrassed at all. You're doing great. Let's review today's key points. First, remember that fear is a normal feeling. It's okay to feel nervous, but you can definitely overcome it. Everyone feels fear when they start something new, especially speaking a new language.
Exactly. And mistakes, don't be afraid of them. Mistakes are a part of learning. The more mistakes you make, the more you learn. It's all part of the process. So instead of worrying about errors, see them as opportunities to improve.
And now, in 2025, there are so many new learning tools that make practicing English easier than ever. You can use apps, virtual reality, and online communities to practice speaking and listening in real situations.
That's right. And let's not forget about daily speaking habits. Practice speaking English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. And confidence is the key to fluency.
Exactly. Confidence comes with practice. The more you practice speaking, the more natural it will feel. Remember, you're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for progress. Every small step counts.
Yes, keep pushing forward and don't give up. If you practice every day, even for a few minutes, you'll see improvement over time. You'll start feeling comfortable speaking English, and soon it will just feel like part of your daily life. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Talk English Today. We hope you found it helpful and that you're feeling motivated to start speaking English more confidently.
If you found this episode helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast. Also, feel free to share it with a friend who's learning English and leave us a comment. We always love hearing from our listeners.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Talk English Today. We hope you found it helpful and that you're feeling motivated to start speaking English more confidently.
If you found this episode helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast. Also, feel free to share it with a friend who's learning English and leave us a comment. We always love hearing from our listeners.
Remember, no stress, no fear, just speak. The more you speak, the better you get. So keep practicing and stay positive. You can do it.
That's right. We'll be back with more tips and advice in our next episode. Until then, keep practicing and enjoy the journey of learning English.
See you next time and take care.
Bye, everyone.